Alright guys, back again. We'll work on this experiment again. We're running this, we're burning wood in this tonight. We're just testing out the viability and a little bit higher power motor than my other experiment. The other experiment used a 30-watt air pump. It's a diaphragm style for aquaponics pond, but I ordered a 200-watt version. I'm just waiting for it to come. But for now, I have this little 1970s paint outfit compressor. It's just a constant flow compressor. It uses 160 watts. It doesn't feel like a whole lot more air than that. It was about like double what that other one puts out, but maybe not. I don't know. Got no way of testing airflow on this, but it is more. So we're gonna see how it does. We got heat to sustain in my burn chamber, and it just kind of burned the wood, but I made one mistake where I didn't have any kindling, so it just kind of like basically glowed. It would have ran probably all night. It kept the walls of this chamber about 100 degrees if you didn't see that video. Started out like 150 and just gradually dropped down over a half hour to 100. There was still combustion and smoke, but it just wasn't enough. Or either that, or I had the thing, you can see I have it pointed straight up. Thought about in a future experiment and go back to the 30-watt pump. I'm going to angle that so it creates like a circulation inside rather than just blowing straight up and out. And also use kindling and flame when it starts, and we'll see, we'll see if it can sustain combustion then. I think that's important to get it lit pretty good first. So today we're going to attempt doing that. So let me just load the wood. We'll get it fired up, and then we'll go from there. See how she does. Oh, I got a new battery in my thermometer, my fancy temperature thermometer. So we'll see how that looks on camera. Oh, you can see it way better this time. All right, so hopefully we can see the container starting out at 57. So we'll just go from there. All right, so we're ready to do some ignition. I've got a whole bunch of hemp branches from a grow a couple years ago. It's all super dry kindling, and it's just that wood I was burning before, so it's kind of charcoalized. There's still some wood in there to burn. And then I have this. It's just my little bottle. It's got ATF and what used to be seafoam, which is kind of a flammable combination. It's an oil mostly, but with detergents. We're gonna add that in there a little bit, just for ignition purposes. That should be enough. I'm gonna roll that around a little bit. Let that get all in there. Alright, so you can see we got our little bit of trans fluid. We'll let that run around on the inside. Coat those sticks in the walls, and let's try to ignite it. Well, we better turn the compressor on while I'm thinking about it. It's a cool little unit. It's kind of loud though. It's going to be a lot louder than the one that I ordered, which has more power, substantially more. But this is what we got. This is what we're rocking. Oh, let's turn the gas. Smelling pretty good. Let's put it on. Be back with you. Alright. got her on there. Keep going. Let's get the thermometer out. Do a little reading here. That's already to 90. So we're going to go 2 inches up. We're at 147. Then we'll go 6 inches up. We're at 130 already. 100 up here. 75 up top. It's going up though. Getting hotter. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to come back. Let this run. You don't want to watch that. We'll let it run for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes exactly from now. Alright guys. It's been 8 minutes. We didn't get any flame, but I did notice this. It's getting hotter. So it's just like a slow ignition, but it doesn't have any flame. I didn't get any flame because I didn't use paper or anything. But it's 100 degrees. That's all hotter it got with the 30 watt pump at the bottom. So after this long, it had dropped down. But this one's hotter than I started, so we're increasing heat. And remember, this pump's way less efficient than that other type. I mean, this is just maybe double like a 60 watt diaphragm pump and about 4 times louder, maybe 6 times louder. It's super loud. It's annoying, but all in the name of science. I had an idea. I think this is wood gas. Let's just put it over the, oh yeah, you can see it. It's definitely wood gas. You see that purple flame? That's blue. That goes purple. It's burning that wood gas. That is straight up. You can actually see it flying down in there. You can go on an upward angle and see it shoot down in there. That's super cool. So this is just making like copious wood gas. You can see it's flammable as the smoke climbs. I'll put it way up here. See it? It's burning the carbon. That's freaking awesome. So this generates wood gas, at least in the ignition phase. That's cool as shit. Alright. It's been 15 minutes now exactly. I just seen a spark kind of pop out of the top, which is really good news. So I'm waiting for this to just burst into flames. Oh yeah, we got heat, boys. Saw 160. Earlier I thought I saw 180. Maybe not. But it is getting hotter. Let's go to the top. Remember it was cooler. Oh yeah. It's just a gradual. I wonder how flammable that wood gas is still. Let's check that next. Let's see how flammable this wood gas is. Oh yeah, you see the flame change color right away. Oh yeah, it's really driving down into there. That's cool as shit. That's all flammable free wood gas. You can potentially run an engine off of that. So just imagine scaling this up. It'd be interesting to see if you can use this as a fuel, like pump it through a filter. Because this has been smoking for 20 minutes and that's quite a volume. And I don't have much wood in there. There's probably 2 pounds of wood in this whole thing, so it's really not a lot. But yeah, you can see it's flammable wood gas. Even way up there. See the flame change? You can see it. That's cool. Alright, back again. It's been 23 minutes. Smoking quite a bit. Now let's see where we're at temperature-wise. Oh yeah, it's getting hotter up top now. Right there at the top. It's necking down. It's getting pretty hot. The whole cylinder is heated. It's the hottest at the bottom. 170 down there. It is getting warm all the way. Sweet. Come back in 10 minutes. Like I said, there's only 2 pounds of wood, so it might all burn up. I might just keep making this wood gas the whole time. That's freaking cool. Alright, I'm back after 30 minutes. Just wanted to talk about this thing is making so much high quality wood gas. This is insane. I've made a lot of wood gas devices. This has made the most from that small amount of wood that I've ever seen. Plus, it's not a separate chamber. I'm not cooking the wood in a separate chamber. This is all one sealed chamber. So that's really neat because it's kind of like dual function, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's just exciting. Let's ignite it again. That'll be fun. Always be fun. Ooh, yeah, look at that red flame. Cool if we could ignite it like that. Yeah, even way up here. See where my glass hits it, it turns it red purple. Let's see if it goes. That's all flammable wood gas. That's sweet. Alright, we're gonna come back. We're gonna let it burn down for a while. Alright, I was wrong. That last clip was 27 minutes. Now we're officially at 30. So let's read temperatures and I'll show you something cool. I say cool way too much. Steady 150, 160. Now let's go down in the hole. See, the laser looks cool as shit. So you can stay way up here and fire it in the hole. Just stay out of the smoke. Wow. I hate rabbits. I hate rabbits. So it's 200, 210. But I don't see anything burning yet in there. I sure smell it. And it's getting hot, so this is awesome. Alright, so it's been 45 minutes. The smoke's slowing down, so let's see where we're at here. Temperature wise up. Can't see shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. She's hot. Look at that. 200 degrees. I wonder why the smoke's petering out. I wonder if it's... I don't know. See if there's still wood gas. We'll check. Let's see if it burns out. I'm actually done for the night with this experiment. Let's shut it off and see if it goes out in there. Now my theory is that when you unplug that, you choke it out. Especially if there was a chimney on this like it's going to be having. I mean, the chimney on a system like this can go any direction. It can coil around in a loop to extract heat. It can go down underground. It can go up out of roof. It can go out of sidewall because this is under pressure. The air pump that I'm getting, this one maybe not, but the one that I'm getting can push 5 psi and it can push, it's a 200 watter, so I did the math and it does about 4 cubic foot a minute. A home wood stove uses combustion air 4 cubic feet a minute. So this should be, well, the 200 watt one I'm getting should be enough air to run a furnace. And there comes an idea that I had. So it's a conversion or a specialized wood stove that uses an air pump. And what's cool about it, you could locate it, if you wanted to, you could locate the air intake outside for quietness, but also that way you don't need the fresh air intake. You know how this thing called the fresh air intake. Oh yeah, you can see it going out. That's so cool. It just chokes out, especially if it had a chimney, like I said. But anyway, so you make a specialized furnace and you can put the pump outside. Then you don't need what's called a fresh air intake, which is required by code in a lot of wood stoves. And you could actually convert a wood stove too, just by making a little cover over the intake plate, the air pump, and then obviously you could put a cover plate on the exhaust. That makes all that expensive piping obsolete, and just run a 1-inch pipe or half-inch pipe out, depending on what the experiments show, but probably a 1-inch pipe, and you could just, that'd be way cheaper, way safer, especially if you extracted the heat out of it with a coil. I got a lot of ideas, a lot of tests to do. Obviously I'm way ahead of myself, but I already know the principle works, and that's just one aspect of it, is wood stoves and wood burning. My next model that you'll see if you keep watching my videos, it's actually going to be an oil burner. So I'm going to use the same technology with a different design, and I have a few little features I thought of, and it's actually going to consume oil. So you will have oil burning. There's my little aquaponics spot, that's what that sound is. And then there's some kind of spinning plant over there, I think, something. But anyway, so yeah, it'll be burning oil. It's actually gonna foam the oil, and I'm gonna use a glow plug and an igniter that I've got. I'm gonna try to use that to attempt to ignite the oil. If not, I got some backup plans like a blowtorch and a spark shower generator and high intensity plasma discharge, a bunch of different stuff that I could use to ignite it. But once that oil's lit and it's getting supplied with 4 cubic foot a minute, and that's variable, remember, I can control this. So I could, with my dial control, I dial this down to, you know, idle, and you could basically idle your stove. Like basically what my 30 watt was doing was just idling. It was just consuming just a little tiny bit of fuel. But why that would be beneficial is because you could turn it down so it was just moving the tiniest bit of air, enough to just keep a coal going. So like you could keep the stove lit, and then just on demand you turn it up, and here comes the heat. And then when you want to cut it, let's say you're leaving or something, or you just don't want combustion going, you turn it all the way off, and with the addition of a large chimney, you would choke that fire out completely in a hurry. So see, it's already out. There's barely any smoke coming out of there. Anyway, it's like 4 in the morning. It's got to go to work, so better get to it. All right, thanks for joining me for a little while. You have a good night.